had this discussion about 6 months ago with your members. Now's the time to check in with them, see how far they are along with what they wanted to achieve, and plan the agenda roles to get them involved. And in the end, follow up, lightly nudge, but mostly encourage and recognize and celebrate. We're here to celebrate people who achieve something. We're here to encourage people who want to achieve something. Now, the other goals for new members, you get one DCP goal for 4 members and another DCP goal for another 4 new members. How do you get that? If you haven't achieved that yet, arrange an open house, a well-organized open house, to make sure that a lot of people join, a lot of potential guests join. Optimal use of PR platforms. Make sure that your PR platforms are up to date. Show that you're alive. Show that your first impression is the right impression. And keep in touch with past members. This is a great time to invite your past members when you have an open house. Renewals are coming up. In our message from our club growth director, she will touch a little bit on that. And then, of course, club officer training. Give yourselves a round of applause now, because you are working on that goal now. And there are a couple of clubs, and I'd like you to raise your hand. You have 4 officers here today. We start with a club with the name Extraordinary Toastmasters. Of course, they'll be in this group of 4. We have other clubs as well. Nishibe, our bilingual Japanese club, and is another club. And I will mention the other clubs that have lots of representatives here today a bit later. Contests are coming up. International speech and table topics. That is what the district will do this year. All contests are online. We practiced this earlier, about the same time last year. So club contests all the way up to the district will be online. And the contest dates are shown there. We'll have a contest training later today so that you will know a bit more if you have not done contests in your club yet. And we have a secret sauce to excellent contests where they will also touch on contest chair, judging, and the technology side, maybe the most challenging for many of you, the Zoom side of contests. We have that on January 25th. So go to the Toastmasters46.org website, where you can see the where you can sign up for the special session on January 25th. Then special offers, almost like late night television. If you call now, we have the special offer. Actually, there are 2 of these offers that I mentioned here that have deadlines. One of them is if you're paid up as of December 31st, in other words, you renewed all the way to March 31st, by the end of last year, you can get a free path. That means 1 extra path. And you have to choose that by the end of March. How do you do that? You go, just like you selected your first path, log into Toastmasters.org, pathways, select a path, and then in the end, once you've added it to your to check out, you'll see that it actually is free. Something not to pass up. And we say thank you to Toastmasters International, who want to give us a gift. Then something else where there is a special offer. And for that, time is running out, January 31st. All of you, of course, joined a club that was new at some stage. Some of you 65 years, 70 years ago. Some last year. But a new club helped people to get the benefits of Toastmasters. So if you know about any group of people, minimum 20 people, you can start that club now. And there are special savings. There is a zero charter fee, usually $125, and zero one-off first time administrative fee, which is usually $20 per member. So you have 20 days to be exact to make use of this special offer. And then we have some other goals. We just finished the mini DCP, where we looked at which clubs had 5 goals or more. And I think we had 14 clubs, which is a wonderful achievement. They're already on their way to be distinguished. The Winter Summit, the Leadership Lab, Toastmasters as a leadership lab. So this is our leadership summit where you will learn wonderful things of how Toastmasters is beneficial and other tools about our workshop speaker is Sarah Khan. She's a TEDx speaker. She's from California, and she will tell us about how you can use the heart to change the mind. Now, to me, that kind of an introduction would make me sign up immediately. So go to toastmasters46.org to sign up for that. This is on January 30th. And then we have an incentive for club officers. If 4 of your club officers add at least 1 level, pathway level, you'll get the Walk the Talk Award. And there will be more on different incentives in the next session that our Club Growth Director, Evelyn Marrero, will present. I want to end with a quote by the first woman, the first female international president of Toastmasters International. Very profound statement. I'll read it slowly because I had to read it a couple of times to make sure I get it. But once I got it, I think it's very profound. If you get out of Toastmasters all there is to get out of Toastmasters, you'll never get out of Toastmasters. I'll repeat that. If you get out of Toastmasters all that there is to get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. And that's how I feel. I know all of you feel that. And I hope you make the most of today's training sessions to be equipped to convey this and create that same feeling that nobody in your club would want to get out of Toastmasters. Back to you, Mr. TLI Dean.
Thank you very much. Let's give a warm round of applause or jazz hands for Jan-Paul. You had a wonderful message. I wanted to echo the comments that Jan-Paul shared with us, and rest assured the slides are going to be shared via the email that you'll receive after the end of this session, as well as the recording, so you can listen to it. You can also have the PowerPoint slides for reference. Our next speaker is going to be virtual. That's actually not a pun because we're all virtual, but I'm going to be sharing with you all a video recording that Distinguished Toastmaster and our Club Growth Director for District 46, Evelyn Morero, put together. So for the next 8 minutes, I will go ahead and run the video. It's going to be talking about the district incentives. There's going to be a handout about the district incentives that I will attach to the chat and also share after the session is over. So what I'd like to do next is, there's one caveat. If there are any questions, we'll have to relay them to Evelyn because she won't be able to respond during the video. But with that being said, Ling, I'm going to share my screen. Please confirm that you can hear the audio because that's always a little tricky. So let's see what we can do here. Thank you. I'm just going to hit share sound.
Greeting, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you for taking the time.
I hear it.
Busy day to attend the Winter Officer Training. This Toastmaster year has been challenging for all of us. As your Club Growth Director, I have implemented several incentives for your clubs and members. To assist clubs with member recruitment, there are various incentives. First, the open house. Each club can be reimbursed up to $100 twice a year from July through June for costs incurred in the event. Usually those funds were used to cover costs of food when we were meeting face-to-face. But in the online environment, you can still use it for costs such as Zoom fee reimbursement for the month the event is being held. Some clubs have conducted mini contests and purchased small awards to entice attendance from guests. Those fees can be included in the reimbursement as well. Be innovative and creative. Hold an open house and get your reimbursement. Meetup is another social media that is great for attracting new members. The district will reimburse the club up to $70 for maintaining the site. Now, I'm aware that the cost for Meetup is a bit more than that, but the $70 will help to offset those costs. A new incentive available through April 30th, 2021 is members' guests to members. If a member invites 3 guests to a club meeting that become members, that member will get a TI junior portfolio. If a member invites 5 guests to a meeting that become members, the member will get an executive calculator portfolio from TI. And if a member invites 7 or more guests to club meetings that become members, that member will receive a TI Bluetooth earbuds. Now, you have from now through April 30th, and the members the guests don't all have to join in one meeting. You can invite several guests to several meetings as long as altogether they add up to either the 3, the 5, the 7, or more. TI also has Talk Up Toastmasters and Beat the Clock. These incentives from Toastmasters Internationals are for adding 5 new dual, reinstated, or new members. To Beat the Clock, the Talk of Toastmasters runs from February 1st through March 31st, 2021, and Beat the Clock is from May 1st through June 30th, 2021. If you achieve these goals, Toastmasters International will automatically send you a ribbon and a 10% off certificate towards the Toastmasters store. For chartering new clubs, there's the following. From now through the end of the month, January 31st, 2021, Toastmasters International has waived the chartering fees and new member fees for a savings of $525. But you have to hurry. The chartering must be completed by January 31st, 2021. New clubs chartering in the district will have the option of either a new club banner or reimbursement of 6 months of Pro Zoom for holding their meetings. It's one or the other, the club banner or the Pro Zoom access for 6 months. There are also 2 different incentives for member retention. You're all familiar with the 2020. We had the 2020 during the October, March dues incentive. We have it again now from beginning from February through March 20th. If you actually, from now, you can start collecting dues today if you want, through March 20th. For the April through September dues period, any club that achieves 20 members or more will receive a 25 Toastmasters International gift certificate. The Club Leadership Challenge is a bit more challenging. It's based on the base of the club as of July 1st, 2020. If the club had a base of less than 40 members and renews 25 or more, if the base was less than 50 and they renew 35 or more, or if the base was 50 or more and they renew 45 or more, the winning clubs will receive a $50 credit toward the spring conference. At the moment, we anticipate that the spring conference in 2021, being held in May, will be a hybrid event. In addition to these incentive awards, there are also recognition awards that have been implemented. We have club anniversaries in increments of 5 years. The clubs receive a certificate commemorating the event, the milestone event from the trio, an anniversary ribbon to hang on their banner, and a $25 TI gift certificate. From July through December 2020, we had 6 clubs celebrate a cumulative 110 years. Beginning in January, we will have 16 clubs celebrate a cumulative 290 years. Altogether, 22 clubs will have celebrated a total of 400 years this TI year in the district. That's impressive. Recently, I sent a communication to all club presidents asking them to nominate a non-officer member that exemplifies the qualities of a Toastmaster in their clubs for a Member Achievement Award. Those members will be featured on our district website and social media and receive a TI Core Value coin. In the trio's end of the year message, we asked for submissions of a short video telling us your why for joining Toastmasters. Alternatively, instead of a video, you could send a photo with a message about how Toastmasters has improved you. This is open to all district Toastmasters. The best submissions will be posted on our district website and social media. The ultimate club recognition is the district's Gavel Award, which has 3 different levels of achievement: the gold, the silver, and bronze. For more information about this incentive award, you can contact our district recognition chair, Robert Dong. I've given you a lot of information to absorb, and you don't need to memorize any of it. All of this information may be found on our district website, toastmasters46.org, our Facebook page, or by contacting your area or division directors, or me directly, Club Growth Director Evelyn Moreira. I am also asking our webmaster to post in the chat, our Zoom master to post in the chat a file containing all of the details of what I just spoke about. Again, I'd like to thank all of you for attending this officer training, for the service you render to your clubs and the district. And I wish you a blessed, healthy, safe, and successful 2021. Enjoy the rest of your training. Back to our TLI Dean. Thank you. Greetings.
Hello, everybody. Great. Well, round of applause for Evelyn. She recorded this. It took her a very long time. I don't want to say how long, but as you can see, it's a pretty good compromise. We had a lot of questions. If you have problems with the file, please send me a message directly. I can also attach a file, but most workplaces block that. So I opted to send you a link. Now, again, this link will be shared via email. So if you want to read it later at home or on your phone, it's perfectly fine. All right, so that was a good discussion on district incentives. We're actually ahead of time, which means I might be able to give you back quite some time, or you can use the more time in the breakout rooms with your fellow Toastmasters and your trainers. But that's not what we're here to talk about. The next part that's going to be coming up is the club contest preparation. And we have two wonderful speakers today, Deborah Jones and Robert Scher, both distinguished Toastmasters. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over the floor to the both of them. Deborah, Robert.
Thank you. Let me just bring this up and I pin the timer. Okay. Good evening, distinguished dignitaries and fellow Toastmasters. I'm Deborah Jones. I'm the president of the United We Stand Toastmasters Club and the Youth Leadership Program. And I will be joined today by Robert Scher from the Westchester Advanced Toastmasters team. And we will give you an overview of the contest virtually. I remember years back when I was in a contest at the district level, I was so nervous. I forgot my name when I got up there. And a lot of you know that I have an identical twin sister, Diane, and I looked into the audience, I couldn't remember her name. So I decided that it was time for me to dig a little deeper into the contest process so I could understand it a lot better. And I implore you to do the same. It's about the member. And they say, keep it simple. Before it used to say stupid, but keep it simple. Make it as easy as possible. You want to make sure that you have fun with this. You make it as normal as possible. Sometimes people will say, I will not be in a contest, or I do not want to participate that way. You can nominate someone. But the bottom line is to make sure it remains fun. As a contest chair, that person executes the whole speech process. You have to formulate a committee. That's a team. You cannot do it without teamwork. You have to arrange for your supplies and services, such as setting the date and time of your contest, creating an agenda. You want to make sure that you have the right virtual platform. We're using Zoom. Have your certificates ready. Even though you're in a Zoom environment, some people may like printed certificates. So you just have to make sure that you have that ready in case that is what they want. You're going to select the chief judge. And this year I've been asked to be the chief judge for the district contest, and I'm very honored. Thank you for that. You're going to have your contest briefings. You need to do that ahead of time. You can't do it on the same day and you don't have anything in place because things will fall through. Philip cannot be everywhere. He's our Zoom guru, but he cannot be everywhere. Eligibility. Check that out before the contest. You don't want to wait till the day of the contest to find out that someone is not eligible and you have to scramble to make changes. One way that you can check that is in Toastmasters.org under Leadership Central, and there's an eligibility assistant tab. You can put the person's name in and find out if they are eligible. The club and the Toastmaster must be a member in good standing. In one of my clubs, we had a contestant that was ready to go forward, but we didn't have 8 members at the time. You need your 8 required members so the club is in good standing. The other thing is, if you give your dues in, make sure that your treasurer puts the money into the system, because you can give it to them and they don't put it in timely, you will not qualify. For the International Speech Contest, a lot of you remember the Legacy program, the competent communication process. You have to have provided 6 speeches from that process. Now, if you just joined after, Pathways came into play, well, then you need to earn your Pathway Certificate of Completion, levels 1 and 2. The Table Topics Contest, anyone can join that, so I encourage you to join.
Deborah, if I can jump in for a second, if any of you have any questions along the way, please put it in the chat. I will be monitoring the chat and we can discuss the questions as they come up, but do encourage you to ask questions in the chat during the course of this presentation.
Thank you. As the contest chair, you're going to introduce the contestant. You'll say the person's name, the title, and the person's name. Deborah Jones, tribute to Twinness. Tribute to Twinness, Deborah Jones. And the contestant is going to make sure that the mic is ready and the camera is ready. You want to make sure that the equipment is working and that you stay within the range of the camera. Most important thing is to pin the timer. Right now, Ling Chan is the timer for us. So I pinned her so she's up top. You don't want to be disqualified from a contest because you went over time. Selecting the contestant's speaking order. People ask, how do I do that? Be as creative as possible as long as you're fair. You can put names in a hat, jumble them up, and pull it out that way. You can give them letters. When they say a letter, it's associated with a number, and that would be the contestant's order. But whichever way you do it, just make sure it's fair. And you're going to review your speech times. And let the timer and the speaker work together so that they can feel comfortable. And again, as I said, pin the timer. Any questions so far?
Nothing yet.
Okay. The contestant's briefing. If there are any protests, you're going to make them to the chief judge, which is myself. A lot of people are using the WhatsApp group or sending an email to the chief judge. A lot of times when we get into a Zoom or virtual platform, we want to send our messages out. And sometimes we don't send it privately, so everybody sees it. So we're changing that. You can't use Zoom chat. You have to send an email to the chief judge, or you can get the contest chair. You're going to define the speaking order as a contest chair. Sometimes people say, I don't know what my speaking order is. Is it over here? Is it over here? You want to make sure that you stay within the camera's range. And then you're going to have the contestants rename themselves. Top right-hand corner, usually the 3 buttons, they'll write contestant and their name. For props, virtual backgrounds are allowed. Usually you give a minute between sets or speeches so that you can set up, but there's no requirement. You do not have to do that, but we try to allow that. So we try to give reasonable time to set up. Now moving on to the chief judge, you have to appoint a Zoom master. For the district contest, we are pleased to have Phyllis status, for our Zoom master, but you need to have one for your own local area and division contest. You're going to select your judges, and including a tie-breaking judge, ballot counters and timers, usually 2 timers, 2 ballot counters if you can get that. Key is to make sure that you have names, email addresses, phone numbers of all of the functionaries. Anything can go wrong, and they may not be able to get you through this platform. So you need to be able to have all of that information and make sure that someone on your team also has that information so they can work with you. On the day of the briefing, you're going to have a breakout room. Your judges, your counters, and your timers will go into that breakout room and discuss everything, make sure that they're comfortable. Someone had a question at the last training about certificates. You're supposed to have certificates for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place contest winners. That's different than what it used to be in the past. Bob, I don't know if you want to discuss that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think this change, I don't think it changed last year, but maybe it was the year before, that when you have, because it used to be that when you had, I think, 3 contestants in a contest, you would only announce the winner if it was only 4th, 4 contestants, you would announce first and second place, and only 5 and up, you would do the top 3. The reason being that people don't want to, if people know that they finished last, and if it's announced that way, they obviously aren't going to feel that great about it, or at least in most cases, in many cases. What the rule changes are is that if you have 3 or more participants, you announce a 3rd place winner, a 2nd place winner, and a 1st place winner. So you do announce, you do let people know that all 3 places. Fewer than 3. So whatever feelings there are, I guess, about somebody finishing last, I guess the point is that you've managed to compete and you've done well and you got through it. And that's maybe that's the point. Fewer than 3 participants, you announce a 2nd place winner and a 1st place winner. And if the contest is held with only 1 contestant, it must still be held. And a contestant would be disqualified if he or she does not meet the timing, originality, and eligibility requirements. I think what that usually means is that if there's only 1 contestant in your contest, you're better off just appointing them, which you can or one time in.
Thank you, Bob. But as he said, it is advised.
We had a question that came in, by the way, from Peter, who asks if there's any restrictions on cameras, aware of anything like that in the rule book. Is Deborah or
there is information in the rule book.
Really, anybody else? We have a lot of esteem.
Bob was coming in and out, but I believe the question was in reference to cameras in the rule book.
Does anybody else want to weigh in on this? Because
I think it could be the internet. Let me just give. I sent a message.
I don't think so. In and out. I apologize if I'm going in and out because my internet connection has been pretty spotty this evening for whatever reason. I don't think there are rules in the rule book having to do with cameras and camera angles. I will search for it. But if somebody else knows the answer to that and can weigh in, that would be great too.
We'll get the answer before we get off the call today. Thank you, Bob. The judges should fill out their certification of eligibility. And the ballots, which is a little different this time because it's coming through virtually, you're going to send your ballots to the ballot counters and the chief judge via email. This way, the ballot counters and the judges can count the ballots twice or 3 times if they have to, but to make sure that the point system is in order. So we're going to send it to the ballot counters and the chief judge via email. Judges, 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 do not raise your hand, wear something that says, I am a judge. You do not want anyone to know that. You will remain anonymous. On the judging form, you're going to write the contestants' names on the top. And I know Bob has a trick that you can use in terms of how to score that fairly. Bob, do you want to share that?
Okay, I'm sorry. I was focusing on the question about the camera. Let me just jump in first of all and say for camera angles, you are not allowed multiple camera angles. It has to be a single camera. So you cannot use multiple cameras with different angles. So that is actually stated in the handbook. So thank you for raising that question. Now I'm sorry, I didn't hear quite where you were now.
I'm sorry. This was in reference to the ballot form, the judging form, excuse me. You had a trick so that they remain fair as judges in using the form.
I think you have, well, is there a trick?
You talked about folding the form over so you wouldn't see the name.
Right. Yeah, so you can yeah, there's a way you can fold the form if you do it from right to left, actually. A lot of people fill out the the contestants from left to right on the form. If you fill it out from right to left, you can fold the page over and not see how you graded the prior contestant. So that's something you can do for a judge to make sure that you're not comparing how you graded the last contestant to how you're grading this contestant.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. The other way that you can do it is to put your information in a book, and this way you're using separate pages. So in case you don't feel comfortable in folding over the form. Now down here it says text it to the ballot counter. You're not texting it, and that will be changed. You will email it to the designated ballot counter and the chief judge. If you have any ties, you have 2 contestants with 90 points, you have to break that tie yourself. If a judge has technology problems, we're having some technology problems right now, please inform me right away so that we can make sure that you are part of the process. It's going to be a leadership decision as to whether the judge will stay in there or what will happen. Timer. You have timer number 1. That information will come to the chief judge. Timer number 2. That information will also come to the chief judge. Both timers will have a stopwatch or use their phones. You're going to change the backgrounds like we do with regular speeches, the green, the yellow, and the red. 5 minutes, hold it up until 6 minutes for the yellow, 7 minutes for the red. And we all know that speakers have 30 seconds, almost said minutes, but 30 seconds to wrap up their presentation. And you have to have a substitute plan in case your timing device doesn't work. Have your green cards, have your yellow card, have your red card. In the event that the speaker has a technology problem, you can't hear, the internet is going in and out, they have 5 minutes to interrupt their speech. And when they come back, they have to start at the point where they left off. You can't start at the beginning. If it's deemed, that there are too many technical problems, well, then the chief judge and the leadership will make a determination of whether the contest will be postponed for a later time or a later date. We'll make that decision as we go along.
Yeah, we're getting questions, by the way. If people want a copy of the slides, the answer is, of course. And actually, there's a link right now. Thank you, Philip. He's on the ball.
I'll make that correction in terms of the text versus email and send you a new deck, Philip, so that you can send it to them. We'll do it before we get off of this call. Thank you. Ballot counters. You're going to have your ballot counting sheet. You're going to leave after the contest is over. You're going to go to the breakout room with me, the chief judge, and we will count the ballots. After we review everything, we'll tally it and make sure that it's in order. If necessary, the tie-breaking judge will vote separately to break a tie. You need to have a tie-breaking judge. Protests. That should be emailed to the chief judge with the name of the contestants and the details of the protest. Originality, they didn't cite someone when they said a quote, or I know Bob was talking about that before, if they use or they cite the previous contestants. You cannot do that.
That's a new rule this year, as a matter of fact. And I think it's an important rule to note because I've seen it happen so many times where a contestant will reference something that was mentioned in another contestant's speech, or they reference another contestant who's in the contest. You can't do that this year, beginning this year. In the past, you could protest only on the basis of originality and eligibility. But now you can also be disqualified if you reference another contestant or a speech presented by another contestant who's in that same contest. The reason being is that I get it. It kind of makes sense to me too, that it tilts the playing field a little bit towards people who are speaking later in the contest. People who speak later can go back and reference a prior contestant's speech, and that's not a luxury that those prior contestants have. So in order to keep the playing field level, you're no longer allowed to reference another contestant or some element of their speech.
Thank you, Bob, for that clarification. Thank you. For the judges, if there's a protest, we will allow the contestant to come into the breakout room and let them explain what the situation is. Of course, we'll ask them to excuse themselves, and then the judges will vote to see whether or not they're acceptable or not acceptable in terms of a contestant. We will not do that while the contestant is in the room. We do not want to hurt anyone.
Protests don't happen often, but they do happen. And I've had on one occasion, we actually did disqualify a contestant on the basis because of a protest. So again, it's not pleasant, but it does happen. And when it does happen, we all need to know how to handle it.
Thank you, Bob. Eligibility. You're thinking, I am eligible as a contestant. My club is a club in good standing, but I need to be eligible as a judge, chief judge, voting judge, or tie-breaking judge. I have to be paid as a member at all levels of the contest, the area, the division, in the district, a paid member for a minimum of 6 months. If you came in at 2 months, you're not eligible. With the old legacy program, the competent communication status, or in pathways levels 1 and 2. You have to be physically present at the contest. You can't judge if you're not there. You're in and out. Attend a video conference. And what I recommend is to review the speech contest training modules and the Toastmasters International frequently asked questions. It gives you a lot of information on the virtual contest that's not in the rule book. They ask you not to judge the contestants on the quality of their video, whether or not it's coming in and out, whether you can see them, whether you can hear them. Don't judge them on that. You judge based on content, delivery, and language, which is part of the process on the judging form. And that information, as I said, can be found in Toastmasters International frequently asked questions. Questions? For the tie-breaking judge, that person is anonymous and only known to the chief judge at the contest, local, area, division, and district. You're going to have a briefing with that person prior to the contest, and they will not attend with the other judges. What I found out is that they have to vote for all the contestants or rank them in order. In case there's a tie, you have all of the information on all of the contestants.
And just to mention, when you break those ties, you are only breaking if you're using the tie-breaking judge's ballot, you're only breaking the tie between the two people who are tied. You're not reordering everybody else based on how the tie-breaking judge ranked everybody. It's just you're breaking that tie between the two people.
Thank you, Bob. At the end of the contest, you have to fill out the contest winners form. You're going to give it to the chief judge. You want to make sure that you rank them from first to last place on the ballot counter's tally sheet. And that information has to go to the next level as soon as possible. The worst thing that you can do is hold that to the day of the contest. It creates too much chaos for the next level. So we will have to make sure we get it in right after the contest to the next level. This seems like a lot, but it isn't. All of the forms that you need are right here. It's on the district website and various other places. But everything you need, you can open it up, click on it, have it ready. If you have a printer and you like that, print it. But if not, make sure that you just look at everything. It's not overwhelming. It's manageable. It really is. And if you want to learn more about it, you can go to speech contests on Toastmasters International or our homepage, the District 46 website, contest resources. I've also included it on the United We Stand Toastmasters Club and Youth Leadership Program public downloads page. Westchester Advanced Toastmasters Group also has it on their public downloads page. But the key to all of this is that you have to have fun. Make this humorous, make it lively. We're in the COVID environment. We want to make sure that we can live and we have fun with this. Raise your hand, say, I want to help. Raise your hands and say, I want to participate. Someone after the last training session wrote to me and said, I am going to be a contestant because I am inspired to do that. I want to move. I want to grow. So either grow as a contestant or grow as a leader and a functionary. And turn control back. Thank you.
Well, we got one more question. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
But it's a fun question, so there's that. Francis, and thank you for the question, Francis asked, do the judges at the club level have to have 2 levels completed in pathways at the club level? I believe if you're a judge at the club level, you just need to be a member in good standing of the club. You have to have your dues paid. I think it's the area contest, the area level and up where you need to have. And I think, Deborah, you're looking for that slide.
Yeah,
right?
I'm looking for that slide that's on there. It's my understanding that you have to have completed 6 levels, because how are you going to judge someone and you're just coming in? You completed 6 levels in the old legacy program, competent communicator, and levels 1 and 2 as a judge.
I think, yeah, not the club level, and Penelope's pointing this out too. I think you just have to be a paid.
Oh, that's right, right
just
here.
a paid member. It's the area level and up where you need to have those requirements, but not at the club level. Club level, anybody can judge as long as they're paid up. Thank you again, Francis.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. You're right. I was thinking about the area and division, but as I said, you need a team because you can't do this by yourself. So you need people to help you. Sometimes you may think, I've seen this, and then the team helps you. So I appreciate everyone on the team for helping. Do we have any other questions? And I return control back. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Bob. Great presentation. I pasted a link. There's going to be some tweaks and changes to the presentations. Please have no fear. You will get all of the links. Either you can send me a message. I will be posting them. And I will also email on your Zoom email that you registered for this meeting. So I wanted to just once again, thank you so much for presentation. I know it's something that we'll all have to participate in our own clubs for the area level. I think it's important to be aware of it. We're going to do, I want to give you a heads up. We're going to be transitioning into the breakout rooms. But before we do so, I would like to give the floor once again to our program quality director, Jan-Paul Rudbal, and he's going to give us a brief, just a brief message. And then right after that happens, you're going to be automatically ported to your breakout rooms, where you will, based on the selection in the dropdown, which of the officer role that you have, you will be in there with a trainer. I will be, if you need help, just press the click help button. I will rush to your aid. And if you have any other issues, I'll also be roaming. But enough about that. I'm going to give the floor over to Jan-Paul. And yes, we are recorded. We're also live on YouTube. So we're trying something new. Let's give a warm round of applause for Jan-Paul.
Thank you, Philip, and thank you for our Chief Judge, Deborah Jones, and her very, very, very capable assistant as a presenter, Bob Scher. Thank you. You're a great team. I think we discovered a duet here. let's give a round of applause to for you for really getting into the details of what it takes to create and set up a fair and fun contest. But a couple of clubs are here, are very special. I already mentioned the extraordinary talkers who have 4 officers here. Raise your hands, put in your cameras, who want to see you. Spotlight. Anybody from Extraordinary, make a noise, unmute yourself. Oh, Nishibe.
Hi.
Hello. Hey.
Hello.
Hello, Nishibe.
Hi,
And then,
thank you for introducing us, Nichibei. I'm from Nichibei, Terry. Thank you.
hello, Terry. Yes, Terry Sato. You're the treasurer this year, former president, if I recall correctly. And we have 4 officers from New York City Equitable Toastmasters today as well. Make a noise, New York City Equitable.
Hey, good to see everybody.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Okay, that's the noise from New York City Equitable. Then Toastmasters at MSK, also strong representation today.
Hello.
Hi there, Toastmasters.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for investing time here so that you can be better officers and help your members. It's a great club, Toastmasters at MSK.
Thank you, Jan Paul.
And Westchester Advanced, also 4. Westchester Advanced, make a noise. Yeah.
Everyone.
Hey, I recognize a voice or 2 there. Yes. Welcome, welcome. And now here's a question. What do Amazon and Hudson River have in common? Well, the Amazon Club is also represented today, and they are the southernmost club that we have in the district. And then the Hudson River Club is also here. I see a few people from that club. Seth Greenwald, you're one of the representatives of the club. Peekskill is also near you. So from the north in Westchester County all the way to the south, thank you for making time to learn more and to help in the sessions.
Hudson River, yes.
Yes. The best river that we have. All right. So I want to hand it back to Philip Status, who will do his magic to send us over to our respective breakout rooms. Have fun, all officers.
Thank you. See you soon.